Dear students, our today's lecture topic is Principles of Mineral Economics, Module 1, Introduction. Mineral economics comprises a wide range of issues relating to the mineral sector. These include pure economic topics such as prices, costs and productivity, as well as public policy issues such as scarcity, conservation and depletion, and finally aspects of geology, mining and technology such as discovery of new deposits and development of advanced mining and mineral processing techniques. The purpose of this lecture is to describe the discipline of mineral economics and its various tools in evaluating the mineral industry from both a public and private sector perspective. We will discuss the following topics in this lecture: mineral economics as an introduction, the mineral supply process, application of mineral economics in government policy formulation, corporate planning and project evaluation. Module 2, Mineral Economics and Introduction. Mineral economics may be defined as the application of economics to the study of all aspects of the mineral sector. The discipline of economics may be classified into three broad areas of interest. Each of these areas has evolved to satisfy practical needs. First, economic theory is intended mainly to support the formulation of government policy and respond to economic planning concerns in the public sector. Second, management principles are intended to assist with corporate planning functions, particularly in larger private sector organizations. And third, decision-making techniques cover a range of quantitative methods which may be collectively referred to as operations research, engineering, economy decision theory, and management science. These analytical tools are applied to evaluate and optimize particular projects, programs, operations, and investment opportunities in both government departments and private companies. This broad view of economics provides a useful framework for the definition of mineral economics. Thus, the subject may be considered to comprise these three areas of interest in the specific context of the mineral sector. The focus of mineral economics, the mineral sector, may be reviewed conveniently as a supply process by which minerals are converted from geological resources to marketable products. Thus, a geological stock of minerals, the resource base, flows through a multi-stage series of mineral sector activities to supply a mineral market. This supply process is central to the subject of mineral economics. Various types of reserve and resource appraisal are carried out to examine the actual and potential mineral stocks which may be available. Assessment of the cost, risk, and return characteristics of mineral exploration, mine development, mining, mineral processing, and transportation reflect the economics of the sequential conversion process. Finally, commodity economics comprise the documentation and projection of mineral market conditions, supply, demand, and price factors, and their interaction in the context of the overall materials market. Special characteristic list of the mineral sector. The intention of such list is to isolate distinctive features of the mineral supply process, which have no complete parallels in general economics. In fact, special characteristics of the mineral sector which are significant from an economic point of view inevitably can be traced back to one single distinctive element, the geological environment. The features of this geological environment have important implications for all areas of concern in mineral economics. 4 factors embodied in the geological environment are of particular interest. Mineral deposits. The geological basis for mineral supply are initially unknown, fixed in size, variable in quality, fixed in location. Since mineral deposits are initially unknown, they must be found and delineated prior to considering normal types of industrial development and production decisions. Thus, mineral exploration is an integral part of the mineral sector. Mineral deposits, once discovered, are fixed in size and therefore subject to exhaustion in the normal course of production. The fixed deposit dimensions impose both technical and economic constraints on the capacity which can be justified for new mine development and on the rate of production which can be achieved at existing mining operations. Thus, continuing levels of exploration effort and thus are required just to maintain existing production levels. The exhaustible nature of mineral resources is also the basis for long-standing concerns about resource scarcity, limits to growth, and the role of mining in economic development. Mineral deposits fixed geologically in size are also variable in quality. Variable quality within individual deposits gives rise to planning opportunities in terms of cut-off grade and sequence of mining decisions. Variability in the quality of mineral resources among deposits has a critical influence on a wide spectrum of policy and planning issues relating, for example, to economic rent and mining productivity. Module 3, the mineral supply process. An understanding of the technical and economic characteristics of the mineral sector as a supply process is fundamental to all areas of application in mineral economics. Technical features. The role of mineral sector in the economy is to find, delineate and develop economic mineral deposits and then to mine, process and market products for them. Thus, economic mineral deposits are the focal point of the mineral supply process. The economic characteristics of the process are shaped by a number of technical features which reflect in part the geological environment associated with mineral deposits. The process of attaining economic production of minerals consists of a multi-stage series of activities by which minerals are converted from unknown geological resources to marketable commodities. The physical occurrence of mineral deposits in nature and the demand of mineral commodities in the economy provide the basic stimulus for mineral supply. Favorable perceptions of exploration, geologists and market researchers regarding these geological and market factors combined to guide the selection of environments for exploration. The successful result of primary exploration is the discovery of mineral occurrences. At this stage, the ultimate size and value of each mineral occurrence is unknown. When sufficient delineation has been completed, a decision is made which determines whether a mineral deposit should be developed for production. If the characteristics of the delineated deposit provide justification for mine development, what is perceived to be an economic mineral deposit is the end result of mineral exploration. The development phase establishes productive mining and mineral processing capacity. Processing is required to upgrade the mine product to a metal concentrate or cathode for transportation and sale. When a mine has been developed and related processing facilities constructed, the production phase commences. The mineral commodities produced at mine site then may be transported to smelting and refining facilities for further processing before being dispatched for sale in the ultimate market. The mineral supply process is dynamic, First, the market demand for mineral commodities changes with time due to a number of factors, including varying requirements of existing end users, changes in the properties and relative costs of substitute materials, the development of new product markets, and modifications in transportation, smelting and refining conditions. Secondly, depletion, the physical exhaustion of mineral deposits, is inherent in their exploration. Thus, continual exploration is required to sustain the existing level of mineral production. Furthermore, exploration guided by geological concepts and skills is a systematic process in the long term, tending to detect first those deposits which are largest, highest grade, closest to surface or closest to market. Consequently, the best and easiest to find deposits will on average be discovered, developed and exhausted first. Lower quality, smaller or harder to find deposits remain for the future. Thus, depletion causes the cost of mineral supply to rise over time. Fortunately, there is a third offsetting dynamic force which is also at work: advances in technology. Such advances may include more efficient and extensive exploration techniques and improved mining and mineral processing methods such as SXEW, advances in technology act to reduce the cost of mineral supply. The resultant of these market depletion and technological forces determines whether the economics of mineral supply are in fact deteriorating or improving with time. Economic characteristics. The economics of mineral supply comprises the costs, risks and returns of the three-phase process. Since the focus of the process is economic mineral deposits, the economics of mineral supply conveniently may be measured by the relationship between the exploration expenditures required to find and delineate an economic deposit and the net return associated with its subsequent development and production. Assessments of the costs, risks and returns of mineral supply are applied to measure the economic attractiveness of the process. Economic criteria may be subdivided conveniently into long term and short term considerations. Long term attractiveness is evaluated using measures of expected value. The short term problems associated with realizing expectations are assessed by risk criteria. There are three main types of risk associated with realization of expected values. 1. The sensitivity of the economics of mineral supply to metal price uncertainties. The uncertainty of the return given an economic discovery arising from geological variability among economic deposits. The risk associated with the discovery of economic mineral deposits. These risks individually and collectively present challenges to the long term profit, survival and growth of organizations active in the mineral supply process. Given these technical features and economic characteristics, the application of mineral economics may be considered from the advantage points of the government and corporate organizations which assume responsibilities for the mineral supply process. Module 4, Application of Mineral Economics with three different perspectives. First, in government policy formulation. The formulation of government mineral policy initially must place the mineral sector in the context of the whole economy. Role of the mineral sector. Since the production of minerals is an important ingredient in contemporary industrialization, the potential of the mineral industry for inducing overall economic growth is substantial. In countries where there is an abundance of resources, relative to capital, and where manpower is limited, the development of mineral resources for international markets can be the leading force through which economic development takes place. A number of conditions must be fulfilled for this to happen. First of all, mineral resource endowment must be of a quantity and quality to give the country a comparative advantage in international trade. If so, the resulting mineral development activity must have the capacity to induce industrial diversification and sustained economic growth. The ability of mineral development to induce industrialization depends on the character of its factor inputs, the mineral production process itself, and the nature of the mineral product. The mining of diamonds, copper, and iron ore offer quite different potentials for industrialization. Potential for industrial diversification will exist to the extent that mineral activity produces linkage effects with other sectors of the economy. There are three types of linkages: backward linkage, associated with the domestic production of inputs for the mineral sector such as mining, machinery, explosives, and transportation facilities. Forward linkages associated with further domestic processing of the mineral product, and final demand linkages associated with the production of consumer goods and services for those deriving income from the mineral sector. Role of the government. In most countries, government has a constitutionally vested ownership responsibility for mineral resources. This responsibility is reflected by its mineral leasing policy, one aspect of which is the collection of royalties and mining taxes. A primary issue in mineral leasing policy is to determine the share of the value realized from mineral supply, which constitutes an appropriate return to government for the use and depletion of its mineral resources. If this share is set too low, the mining company may be considered to reap so-called excess profits. If too much is collected, there will be inadequate incentive for investment. The optimum balance inevitably is elusive. Mineral policy formulation. Government is responsible for the development and implementation of mineral policy to ensure that mineral sector activities make the best possible contribution to economic and social needs. Mineral policy should be consistent with overall government objectives. Economic objectives typically include continued economic growth resulting in increased real per capita income, an equitable distribution of income among the population, and an equitable rate of development among regions. Maintenance of satisfactory balance of payments position, minimization of unemployment, cyclical instability and inflation, often conflicting goals, promotion of economic activity within the context overall sustainable development. Based on these types of objectives, mineral policy has three basic components: optimization of the rate and structure of exploration, development and production of minerals based on the perceived quality and extent of the resource base, insurance that the mineral sector makes the best possible contribution to the growth and industrialization of the overall economy, minimization of adverse social and environmental impacts of mining activities. Now let us look at the corporate. In the corporate planning, for the purpose of applying mineral economics at the corporate planning level, the mining company may be viewed as a decision making or planning entity primarily interested in the mineral supply process. The mining company is concerned with the development and operation of mines, and also more importantly with the strategic decisions that lie beyond current operations. The mining company's planning framework consists of the settling of objectives, the development of corporate resources, the channeling of resources through strategies to areas of environmental opportunity, and the evaluation, selection, and implementation of investment opportunities. The relationships between objectives, resources, and environmental conditions guide the development of corporate strategies. Profit provides the basic investment incentive and thus is an important determinant of investment decisions. Survival is a critical decision making component for most mining companies because of the problems associated with mine replacement. Long run profit and growth are contingent on survival. As the mining company grows, relationships among objectives, capital and skilled resources and environmental conditions continually change. This dynamic aspect of mining company evolution is explained in terms of the growth component. Profit. The term profit is somewhat inadequate for planning purposes. Decisions are based on limited information. The revenue and cost variables from which profit is derived are uncertain, and therefore, profit is realized to a greater or less extent in future time periods. Furthermore, it is the relationship between anticipated profit and investment rather than profit itself, which reflects the attractiveness of investment opportunities. Therefore, profit for decision making purposes may be expressed more realistically as expected profitability. This expected value is held with a degree of risk which reflects the reliability of information at the time of evaluation. Economic evaluation techniques for assessing expected profitability and risk for a variety of mineral investment opportunities are the subject of these notes. Survival. The mining company cannot survive on the basis of its currently producing mines. To survive, it must invest successfully in mineral exploration. Under conditions of high risk, the mining company may expand its capital without a success. This constitutes a survival problem. A mining company's survival strategy centers on the following three questions. What level of exploration risk should the company seek to fulfill its survival objective? What change in the return given a success would be required to balance a change in exploration risk in order to realize the same probability of survival? How much capital should the company allocate to exploration to achieve its survival objective? Generalized answers are as follows. High exploration risk is most acceptable for larger companies. Small and medium sized mining companies should ideally search in less risky areas of exploration. As exploration risk increases, there must be a compensating increase in the return given a success to attract investment. Larger amounts of capital are required under conditions of higher exploration risk. Now, let us see in project evaluation. Decision making techniques are applied to evaluate and optimize a particular mineral projects, programs, operations and investment opportunities in both government departments and mining companies. These consist of a range of quantitative methods which may be classified variously as operations research, engineering, economy, decision theory and management sciences. Decision making techniques in government include a statistical analysis method for the appraisal of unknown regional mineral resource potential. Benefit cost analysis to evaluate mineral research and development projects. Further, processing opportunities and environmental control alternatives. Economic evaluation techniques, to assess the cost, risk and return characteristics of the mineral supply process. Econometric methods to examine mining productivity trends and forecast future mineral market conditions. Input-output analysis to assess the impact of mineral projects and policies on overall regional and national economic activity. Decision-making technique in mining companies include statistical decision theory applied to the formulation of corporate exploration strategies, application of economic evaluation techniques to provide economic guidelines for exploration planning, risk analysis techniques for the optimization of mine development decision variables, break-even cost analysis to assess a competitive position in international markets, geostatistical analysis applied to delineation investment decisions and cut-off grade control at operating mines. Dear students, let us summarize today's lecture. The role of the mineral sector in the economy is to find, delineate and develop economic mineral deposits and then to mine, process and market products from them. Thus, economic mineral deposits are the focal point of the mineral supply process. The focus of mineral economics, the mineral sector, may be viewed conveniently as a supply process by which minerals are converted from geological resources to marketable products. Thus, a geological stock of minerals, the resource base, flows through a multi-stage series of mineral sector activities to supply a mineral market. This supply process is central to the subject of mineral economics. Development of mineral resources for international markets can be the leading force through which economic development takes place. Mineral resource endowment must be of a quantity and quality to give the country a comparative advantage in international trade. Thank you.